Welcome back to the Last Chance Qualifier. This is a tournament that was put on yesterday. We have the final 4 teams in that qualifying tournament battling it out for those final spots in the Pro League. We've already seen one matchup. That was Infinity Blue versus Team Queso. Team Queso came out on top 3-1, only dropping that second map execution. We now go into what would be considered the winner finals of that tournament, but it is between Oxygen and Latam Squad. The winner of this already qualified for Pro League. The loser gets one last chance, one single attempt against Team Queso. I'm Colin the Crow Clark. That's Taylor Reflections Noble. And I'm telling you right now, we could not be more excited to be casting over these teams.
I'm incredibly excited, Colin. It's going to be a great time, quite honestly. And are my intros that long-winded? Yes, they are.
Mine are.
I need to cut them down because I'm just sitting here with a smile on my face. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my face. I'm just here. So you know what? I take it for granted doing the hosting thing. It's pretty fun, but Colin, you killed it. Brother, I'm sorry that gnat got in your eye, man. Hopefully we'll get that taken care of shortly. Hey, let's go ahead and talk about our rosters, man, because Latam Squad, I've been pumping them up. They're an incredible roster. They really are. This is Addvers, Kardia, Gary, and Pushyz. These guys are a serious threat, just like Infinity Blue was, right? I favored Team K, so they ended up getting the victory. You did too. Actually, everybody did. But Latam Squad is just like Infinity Blue in my eyes, a team that can 100% beat Oxygen, but this team also has more pedigree.
They have a ton of talent on this squad, but I think the thing we have to really keep in mind here is that underlying current between Pushyz and this Oxygen squad, the way that this is going to play out.
Okay, well, let's take a look at Oxygen because you're talking about this current. Chat's been talking about storylines, about players competing against players. Maybe there's some underlying, not drama per se, but rivalry. We're looking at Rocky, Abolics, Bronny, and Scavzy. Just to say my piece, love the fact Bronny and Scavzy are here, obviously making some replacements. Rocky and Abolics have been on Oxygen for quite some time now, but the addition of Bronny and Scavzy was a huge positive. In my opinion, these guys are phenomenal players. But let's talk more, and I'll let you touch on this, more so about the rivalry, the history between both of these rosters.
Well, again, I think that what we saw after Oxygen made that roster change to get a new player, to try to change up the chemistry a little bit, what they did was they dropped Pushyz, who was a extraordinary talent for their team, who played very hard for their team, that took a lot of fights for that team and took a lot of bruises and lumps for that team, because a lot of times we'd say, Pushyz is going up into that next fight. He's getting killed off. He's not getting a good push for his team. He's not getting them the great positioning. But then we'd also say, you know what? Pushyz won that first fight. Pushyz gave him the angle there. Pushyz gave them the ability to get that round win, get that map win. So he was kind of that double-edged sword. It was, if he's dying, they're losing. If he's popping off, they're winning. They were putting a lot of faith in him and, of course, Rocky to really win them games. They make the team change to try to change up the genetic chemistry, and you could see it in the way Pushyz kind of reacted to it. It's like, all right, yeah, y'all drop me, but I'll be here. I'll be right back. Don't worry. I'm still that same guy. I'm that dude. And he's here once again with a chance to try to ruin some of Oxygen's hopes and dreams by knocking him down to that loser's bracket.
And you know what? It's probably all love between them, but there is some satisfaction beating a previous team, right? Beating a team that didn't necessarily believe in you, and now it's like, look where I'm at. And now I made it without you guys. I clearly was the wrong guy to drop, okay? And that could be very well the narrative, whoever decides to win this matchup. Let's take a look at our maps, our pick and bans, and see which ones we're rolling with, because we've seen a lot from the roster of Oxygen. And Speyer is a map that's, you know what they do like. Speyer is one that they have found success on. Tomb Execution, another one that Oxygen knows very well, in my opinion. And, Vasgar, Ritual Clock Tower. I'm looking at a lot of maps here that are, in my opinion, favored from the side of Oxygen. But, how are we thinking Latam Squad looks from each map?
Well, right now, what I see that really stands out to me is that Oxygen basically picked very team-oriented maps. Their 3 map picks: Speyer, Vasgar, Clock Tower. They are all 3 based on teamwork, all based on the fact that you got to shoot for one another. Whereas Latam Squad, they picked what I like to think are two very CQC oriented, those very 1v style maps where you see Tomb kind of break down and do, I got to check my guy in mid lane. I got to check my guy at Torque. I got to check my guy at Sniper. Ritual, a lot of cubbies, a lot of covers, a lot of chances for you to hide out, take some 1vs, try to surprise somebody trying to over-rotate. It looks like Latam Squad is trying to spread the forces of Oxygen, whereas Oxygen wants to take this as a team-on-team fight. They want this to be about 4v4 and not be beat by one guy.
Can't be beat by one guy, man. If you get beat by one guy, you're in trouble. All right, that's all I got to say about that. You know, hey, I do want to say last time we had a chance to see Oxygen was during E-Days on Thursday. E-United faced off against them in the first series, and, well, Oxygen lost 3-0. And I don't believe it was close, if I'm not mistaken, but that's a United. That's their future competition, potentially. Now let's talk about who we're going with in our predictions, Colin. And Colin, since you hosted the segment, I'm going to let you host this one too. Who do you think's taking it?
Hey, look, what is something you need to live? Oxygen. I think Oxygen has to find themselves here in this matchup as a unit. They have to breathe, eat, and sleep teamwork in this matchup if they want to come away with a victory. And I think they will do that, because one thing that Rocky has shown time and time again is that he is the life force. He is just like his org's namesake. He is the thing that breathes life into this team. He's going to go big for his squad here in this matchup.
Without question, I got to go with Oxygen too, guys. Oxygen's my favorite team. They were my team that I assumed would already be a pro league team. Again, I believe in Bronny. I really, really do. Once Bronny got that third place with Vanquish during the Spring Major, hey, Bronny really earned a place in my heart. And now he's got to earn it once again, because he needs to qualify today. When he went after Vanquish and then went to that Team Queso roster and they didn't perform well at all, I was very disappointed, because I felt Bronny was clearly the best player on that roster, but that roster just couldn't perform and really live up to what he was about. And now he's got a roster, in my opinion, that favors him. Not like VQ did, but this is still, you know, second best, if you will. So I think this roster can be quite all right. Chat, who are you going with? Hey, I got to say, I definitely tried to help Oxygen out. So I think it's going to be Oxygen. I put 179K on you boys. God dang, it's not going to be. You know what? Hey, check this out. That's cool. That's cool. So Latam Squad wins.
So now you just go win more if they win, right? Is that why you say that's cool?
That's what I'm getting at. Hey, Latam Squad fans, I love the fact that you're backing up Latam Squad. I really do. I don't blame you. They're a great roster, but now you just doubled my money. And I'm so grateful for all of you guys out there. I'm happy to stand against all 1,000 of you, okay? You're like 1,000, I don't know, duck-sized horses. I'll take you all on. Bottom line, I'm out here, 6'8". All right, fully tatted, fully muscle. I'll take them all on, Kyle. I don't care if you join me or not. You can.
Duck-sized
you
horses?
win with Oxygen.
Duck-sized horses?
Horses that are the size of ducks.
1,000 of them.
I'm taking them all on. I'll kick them all in the face. I kick them out of the way like I'm kicking a kickball at recess.
Do you know how many 1,000 is of anything?
I don't even have $1,000, but I tell you what, I can respect what 1,000 duck-sized horses look like.
Think
horses,
what 1,000 of them things would look like together.
Hey, man, I don't care.
They would turn you into hay.
I don't care. I'm taking them all on, and I'm taking it to the bank and doubling my channel points. I need to get back up, all right? I've fallen very hard when it comes to my points, okay? I want to be the first channel millionaire, and I will reach that dream. Oxygen is currently up there. By the way, fifth map is, in fact, going to be Checkout instead of Clock Tower. So, hey, even better, in my opinion, because you got two great teams that are going to get in your face, and Checkout will definitely allow for that. It's a scrappy fight off the beginning, though, and Abolics gets a couple of kills. It's going to take down Kardia and Gary, but even so, Latam Squad with the refresh there and trying to battle it out, but it's going to be short-lived. And you know what? Oxygen does win 2 decisive team fights, Colin, but to Latam Squad credit, looks like they're going to take the the early advantage and take the rotation if they can, led by Kardia.
And what they're going to try to do is get into this backside and stop Oxygen from being able to over-rotate into that spawn. You see Scavzy pushing up now, and he's got some teammate help, but nobody can get the shots on they need to get that down onto Kardia. Kardia's going to get away, too, after that kill. So not only do they have the positioning over the hill, they now got the man advantage to try to pressure this next fight. And that was just easy pickings. Kardia throws the flash. He gets the double shot. He gets the kill. That was so well done. That was so simplified by Kardia to get that next kill, to give them the spawn point. And now it looks like Oxygen is going to have to bang their heads against the wall. They're going to have to fight into this next one. And it's just going to be an uphill battle in the snow, shoeless.
Shoeless in the snow, definitely not a good thing. Get frostbite. Scavzy, big fight around the corner. Pushyz will take him down. Abolics trying to stay up. And Abolics might get up, but no, that's 2 down. Will Oxygen be able to chain together more? It looks like maybe not. We do have a great fight from Latam Squad. They are fighting tooth and nail to get some recovery. Latam Squad on the hill. They've got the lead. And the battle will continue to ensue, man. This tree is being fed by blood at this point. It's growing tremendously. Bronny finally gets a kill, but now you got another one. It's kind of like these guys are just wanting constant 1Vs. Who's the best?
I mean, that's what they're doing at this point, is trying to assert dominance here at this tree. But look at what's happened over at the hill now. Oxygen has broken through into that hill, and they've actually taken over the points there. So they're not going to give up so many over to the side of Latam Squad. They actually fight back into this. They get it. They keep a neutralization, and they're not giving up but so much. They're not giving up so much room over to Latam Squad. Kardia, front side of that hill. He's going to try to get that down. Addvers will pick up the nades there, top middle. And he's going to use them into that first rotation over to that next hill. I like that from them. Even though they gave up the last few points on that hill, they still come away with a rotation, and they come away with the nades.
All right, nades in the hands of player number 6. That's going to be great for them for the next engagement. Bronny should be able to take that to the bank if he can, or excuse me, Bronny doesn't have it. It's going to be Addvers. I apologize. I thought player 6 walked away with it, but either way, though, this next fight's going to be an important one. Very close, 56 to 54. Just to remind you guys, and I should have put more emphasis on this, but this is once again a qualifying match. The winner walks away with the Pro League spot. Their time, grinding, all worth it and all paid off. So this is a big moment for both rosters. One for Auction, join the likes of the NA teams, and of course for Latam Squad to represent Latin America would be fantastic. That we've already got some great teams now in the works. Obviously, Rebel being one of them. You got now Noble, right, representing the Fire and Ice roster, my personal favorite team. You guys know how I love my Fire and Ice boys. Now I'm going to be supporting them as Noble. So it would be nice to see, Latam Squad join the mix. But Oxygen is just a talented team, and I want to see Bronny there. But enough of that. 94 to 54. Oxygen desperately trying to penetrate this hill and get the break, but Latam Squad doing a good job holding them at bay. But ultimately, Oxygen finally gets a break, and they're going to finally be able to at least close off some of that deficit, but they won't retake the lead just yet.
What we'll see them be able to do is get a few more points here. I'm trying to see 18 left. They'll probably leave the hill here in the next few seconds, because that next hill is that mid-neutral area. You can set up on that window and have somebody kind of keep it neutralized for a while. The fight that's important is that top middle fight here in just a moment. It's going to be a 2v2 over both the angle into that next fight and the ability to stop somebody from quick picking the drop. Pushyz, he's going to get pushed down in that middle. Incoming! But Kardia has his back, and Kardia's doing a good job holding both of these players off with just pure Lancer fire. They overload him 2v1, and now it's going to be up to Pushyz to try to win a 2v1. He's not going to be able to win that either. Nades picked up by Bronny. Opposite side of the map, the 2v2 is won by Latam Squad, but still no pick on the drop. The nades will be in the hands of Oxygen, but the hill and the points early in this engagement will go over to Latam Squad, and they're about 30-some-odd seconds away from doubling up the scoreline as well of Oxygen. This is a great little fight for them and a great rotation by Latam Squad.
Absolutely. Latam Squad is playing phenomenally well. They're doing a great job, Colin, and I'm impressed. 133 to 78. It does make sense. Again, Latam Squad is a serious competitor, and you mentioned Pushyz, right? Pushyz is now out for blood, and he has a reason to win this, more so than just a Pro League spot. Kardia from the shadows will take down Bronny before he even knew what hit him, and this lead is going to continue to grow even further for Latam Squad. We do see the setup from Oxygen on the next hill. This should be a pretty easy hold. You got Pushyz, who's going to be flanked by Rocky. Pushyz is now down. You got a couple of players now from the front side, and Oxygen, because they take down Pushyz, can focus all their attention on the forward players, and they are making the most of it. Great eliminations coming out. Addvers, though, to his credit, takes down 2 members from Oxygen, but Oxygen still holds tight to the hill.
Now we see Rocky playing into that hill, playing to the backside of it. They're going to be set up here. This is a big time. Those corner hills can be a lot of points netted for a squad if they can hold on to them for a decent amount of time. Gary will go down, but the kills will finally start getting cleaned up by Oxygen. Kardia trying to run away. He's got a 2v1 back here, but 2 big shots out. Needs one more to land on the other player to get both downs, but won't be able to get it. He's going to go down. The hill will be won initially by Oxygen, and look at the way Latam Squad has 3 players wolf packing through that steeple now. And up through that middle, they will have to play curious what they're going to do here, if they're going to send players down toward the bottom, because the drop is up at 20. You sacrifice away 20 seconds here to get that drop and possibly even take over the next part, the next hill, the next part of this map. You got one set of power. They could get both power weapons here.
Yeah, that would be big too. That would be really big in this moment. Player 1 wins the fight up top. That's going to be Gary taking down player 7. Scavzy ends up falling. Oxygen desperately trying to claw their way back. Latam Squad going for the break. Pushyz does throw out a nade there. He finishes himself off. Fair enough. Bronny now opposite of Kardia. He's going to take him down. That's going to alleviate some pressure. Gary from the front. Gary is pressured. He's down. That's going to be another good hold from Oxygen. And they played that hill pretty much flawlessly. Now you got to focus on next. Leading the charge for Oxygen on next is going to be player 7. It's going to be Scavzy. Scavzy will drop momentarily. Now meat shield in hand. Addvers pick back up from Pushyz. And it looks like Latam Squad is going to establish themselves early on for the next hill. And it's up to Oxygen to once again get the break.
And you're going to see Oxygen still just trying their best to hold this positioning. And you see Bronny, he's going to be a big-time factor if he comes in here and gets it down onto Pushyz, but he gets that first shot to go. Won't be able to get the second one just yet. Now Pushyz playing back. Double bounce and gets the kill. Rocky has to turn and try to burn. He almost gets killed by the drop shot, but he ends up cleaning him up anyway. Beautiful job here by the side of Latam Squad, continuing to apply pressure. And I just love the way that Latam Squad is playing with one another in this matchup because of the fact that they're up over 170 already. And they're going to continue to apply that pressure. They have this corner hill, and they have the ability to just keep the fight going in their favor if they can keep players out of that cubby corner.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Latam Squad. Addvers now by himself, 1v2 up ahead. Even so, though, the battle on the hill is continually ensuing. It's currently decapped in the meantime. Looks like Latam Squad should have a bit of an advantage, though, if they could just push forward, especially taking down player 5. No longer does Rocky have the cross. Now that cross is going to be owned by Gary. Gary's immediately going to put it to use on Abolics up ahead. Oxygen knows they're in trouble. Bronny tries to reposition, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out. And again, that cross from Gary paying dividends. At that point in time, they as an Oxygen really needed to keep that player alive. Rocky needed to stay up and not get out-angled from Gary so he can continue that cross to better the chances of Oxygen getting the break. Ultimately, they do get it, but now they're playing for scrap time again. Latam Squad's fine with this. They're going to rotate and try and establish themselves on the next, but Oxygen does have numbers, but I'm looking at Bronny to win his 1v against Addvers. If he wins that, then he can get on the backside of Pushyz, who's player number 2. This could be a big moment from him, so Bronny needs to pull up and go big.
Bronny, he's going to just, like you said, try to go big here. Addvers, he's going to throw that shot at him, but Bronny will end up getting the push. There's the kill, though. With the nades, and this is just a weird, chaotic fight. The way that they're able to take this, they win that fight over the back. Now Oxygen has to push back into their teammates, but their teammates are getting killed off in the steeple, and it looks like they're just trading blows back and forth. Another down comes through, but nobody's able to get that first cleanup. Now here comes Oxygen, kills left and right and center. Not able to clean up everything just yet. One more to go. Addvers, though, playing the cubby corner, has done a fantastic job of keeping his team in this fight. Meat shield in hand, snub out, just putting his best foot forward. Rocky, he's going to get caught off onto this backside. And now he's just got Lancer out. 2 players in the area. Kardia, Addvers, they still got the hill in their favor. This is just one of those situations where teamwork has just really, like we always joke, and I know it's redundant, but teamwork made the dream work because they continue to play close up to one another, continue to play into each other's strengths rather than each other's weaknesses. And that gives them a big-time point advantage, up over 230 at this point.
Yeah, at this point, Oxygen, they've got to get this break, but I mean, just they're constantly getting peppered. You mentioned that teamwork from Latam Squad, and it really is fantastic. They're about to edge out the 250 mark, and if something doesn't seriously change for Oxygen, they will not win this. It's going to be a decisive win, a decisive opening for Latam Squad, and they are going to be well on their way to being a pro league team. You can see the rotation down to market. It's going to be a 3v1. Oxygen needs to reinforce, help out Bronny. Once you lose one player, then you start to kind of fall apart, but to Bronny's credit, he's holding it down, and great job. He had to cross. The reinforcements from Oxygen were there, and that's going to be a fight 1. Now you're focused on next. Oxygen set up quite nicely. A large deficit to overcome, though. They've got to get to work and quickly, but hey, a start is a start. Let's see if it will pay off. You can tell Oxygen definitely wanting to hold down mid control. This is where they were falling apart a little bit earlier. To the credit of Gary, he was doing a great job winning his fights against Rocky, pushing him out and holding down mid. Things are looking solid, though, for the boys of Oxygen. A bit of a rogue drop comes through. Pushyz, or should be Gary, will take down Scavzy. But even so, Abolics still in the hill.
Now you see Rocky, he's up top in that middle, just trying to find that next angle. He's going to be continuing to shoot these players that rotate across for Latam Squad. And this is what you need if you're Oxygen. Somebody has to pepper those players up, allow you to get these one-shot chunks to try to stay into this hill for longer, try to stay in a position where you can win these fights. I just don't see them being able to get much pressure going, though, because Pushyz, he comes across the front side of this hill, and Bronny's there just waiting for him. Bronny is waiting for that next rotation, that next player to try to push up into the front to try to get the angle out, but it's not going to be in time for anybody. Addvers now set up over that next hill, and this next rotation will be big, especially if Oxygen can get a wipe here, because it'll give him a chance to get back into this.
Well, they are definitely getting back in. I mean, you know, Latam Squad being at 260 is scary, but not the scariest prospect to be looking at if you're on the opposite end, right? The one with the deficit. So this is absolutely doable from Oxygen. This next fight, though, is going to be very telling, and Latam Squad is set up great. They've got all angles covered, and Oxygen is forced to push, at least with players 5 and 6, Rocky and Bronny, straight into the Lancer fire of Latam Squad. And to make matters worse, they've got to go through that smoke, which is obviously not going to be great. It dissipates. Looks like some more is going to be thrown. You just got to make a move. Oxygen's got to find a way to make this break. Really, I'm looking at 7 and 8, though. Scavzy and Abolics having that cross, they're going to be the X factor to allow Rocky and Bronny to push forward.
Now Scavzy, he's trying his best to come in. He's going to get full redded. Addvers turns on him, gets the big L trigger across that quarter, gets the down, and now Abolics, he's going to try his best to snub out to help his teammates, but 17 seconds to go before Latam Squad comes away with this win, and Oxygen will lose their map pick here. And it looks like they're going to, because there's so much time left on this hill, but the way you've got to push into this next hill is, it's not going to be very easy. It's going to be extraordinarily difficult, and right now, a 2v1 gets 1 kill on the opposite side of the map. That's going to be it. That's going to wrap it up. Latam Squad, just their pressure, the way they were able to play those fights out, just too much for Oxygen to overcome.
Without question. And you know what's special about Latam Squad? When they established themselves early on the hill column, their defensive work was great. Their team fire was excellent. It really was, and represented obviously by a couple of players when it comes to damage done, but I think it was their ability to get the finishes that was really great. Oxygen did a lot of damage output, but ultimately that damage really wasn't as impactful to push the team of Latam Squad off these hills. Once Latam Squad was on the hills, Oxygen really had a hard time getting the break, right? They really struggled to break the defensive setup. So good on Latam Squad, man. I'm really impressed. That was a great opening map from them. Speyer is a punishing map that is based around teamwork and team fire, and clearly Latam Squad had a best of everything, in my opinion, and Oxygen starts off with an early loss. It's got to hurt them.
Latam Squad looked to me like they probably came out warmed up. They came out where they had played probably some shoddy lobbies to get ready for this matchup, because the way that their shots were crispy, the way that their teamwork was crispy, it became so hard to overcome because of the way that they were able to just take the fight to all of Oxygen throughout that entire matchup.
Gary did a great job. Again, you know, I highlight Gary, and the reason why I highlight Gary is I was very impressed with his ability to be able to consistently take down Rocky. By doing so, he was able to get the cross. Middle portion of the map on Speyer is big on certain hills, and the reason why is because it's the, you know, when the teams are transferring over, if you have a player like Gary, or maybe even an additional player who's in the back lines, in the shadows, who can help Lancer those teammates from Oxygen or enemies, excuse me, from Oxygen are rotating over, that chip damage is invaluable. It allows your key star players to get up close and slay you out. Not to mention, too, the nades and drop shot were locked down and capitalized on multiple times from the team of Latam Squad. So they did a lot right, in my opinion. Their teamwork was on point, and it was great to watch. It really was. Oxygen at certain times looked kind of discombobulated, but their biggest thing, again, was those early setups from Latam Squad. It really made things awkward for Oxygen. It would make things awkward for any team. When you're forced to push through one choke point and you know you have 3 Lancers facing your way, it really discourages you from pushing. And you can see that multiple times from Rocky. You can see that from Bronny. I mean, how do you push 3 Lancers? You really don't.
You can't. It's almost impossible to push 3 Lancers where you're having to fight uphill into that damage. And then if you get even close enough, one of those 3 players is going to be smart enough, or the communication is going to be there enough for one of those 3 players to pull Nasher and just kind of pepper you one last time to get that down or get that possible chunk. I think Latam Squad going into execution, They can build on things like that. They can build on the fact that their teamwork was just too good, too great for the Oxygen to overcome, especially when it comes to a power weapon fight. All you have to do now is play up into your opponent and not allow them to really get comfortable, because we know how talented Bronny and Oxygen are. We know what they're capable of when they get into big team fights. So you just got to keep them off balance, keep them off kilter, really.
Yeah, you do. And I think that's going to be an instrumental factor when it comes down to Tomb. You know, I really do believe, like, again, I highlighted Gary. I think Gary's going to be a great player for Latam Squad, who's going to be fighting and really calling the shots when it comes to that mid battle. We've seen these flex players in mid play more of a role, more of an impact as Tomb has kind of progressed as an execution map. Before, it was all focused on the Torquebow fight, which, to be fair, you know, the Torquebow fight is a big component. It is, you know, and you have to focus on that. But I'm loving these midline players calling more and more. The more that I watch Tomb execution, midline players are quickly stealing my heart, because again, these flex players truly impact the way the game plays out. You know, whether it's helping the additional Torquebow member, whether it's, you know, calling out the shots in mid to transfer over to long shot, these guys clearly are the keys to success, in my opinion.
They become kind of like middle linebackers on a defense. They're able to kind of situate their players around the map, know where that run, whether it's going to be a run or a pass, whether they're going drop or torque. And if they can get pressure up through the middle, it makes life hard on a run game. They really become kind of that leader of a team on a map like Afira. Whoever's playing that middle lane, that hotel lane, has got to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but also has to have the ability to communicate and slay out. It's almost like you have to put your best player there.
You do. I think you do. I mean, you got to play, or at least IGL. Your IGL has to be there so he can call the shots. I think IGL's fair because you see so much of the map, and you can really see how everything is starting to pan out. I love it. I mean, the midline players, again, are great, you know, but of course, it is exciting to watch the fight for long shot, and even more exciting to watch the fight for Torquebow. Key example, Demon is just fantastic to watch from Rebel. Anytime he's fighting for the Torquebow, especially when he's trying to clutch up, brother, he is fantastic. So let's talk about it. Who do we foresee fighting for the Torquebow from both rosters?
I think you're going to see probably Kardia. I would say Kardia versus Rocky, because I don't think you put Rocky in the middle line. Rocky has to take a power weapon fight. He's too important. You have to trust somebody. You might even have a Scavzy in that middle line because of how good Scavzy is at communicating. Though? I think Pushyz is going to be going to drop. You usually have two players go up toward drop. I think you got to put Pushyz in that position to allow for him to use his unique ability to put pressure on his opponents to win fights.
Okay. Oh, all right.
We're on Tomb. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you mean long shot, right?
Long shot.
Yeah, long shot.
Long shot, not drop.
Fair enough. Well, Pushyz might do that. And it would surprise me if Pushyz goes torque. I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. But I mean, I think he would.
We talk about Afira so much. That's all I can think about.
I was about to say drop. I was like, man, am I missing? I was thinking maybe he's thinking the nades are drop, because I guess at a certain point, right, if the nades get close to you and they go boom, it's just as effective as a drop is, depending on how you throw them. But it's going to be fun to see how this one's going to play out. This would be a big win for Latam Squad. Quite honestly, if they win this, go up 2-0 in the series, I don't see them losing this. They're going to be a pro league team, in my opinion. But to each their own, we'll see. We did see a tie in Infinity Blue and Team Queso earlier. One control was lost, and then the execution was won in the second map, which means they were tied up 1-1. So that is absolutely the possibility here. Plus, always, you got to take into account when the first execution is won. If we do go to map 5, that team usually has the advantage. In this case, it's going to be on checkout. But on 2, we do need those star players, whether it be Pushyz, whether it be Kardia, whether it be Rocky, Bronny. These are the guys to go big. And speaking of which, Bronny is going to be the guy fighting for Torquebow. I just realized that. Bronny was always the guy fighting for Torquebow on any roster that he's been on. He's most likely going to be the guy opposite of anybody who's fighting for Torque. And he is a serious contender. A lot of key players, whether it be Demon or anybody else, struggle to face off against Bronny, without question. So I think Bronny's going to be a key factor in this matchup.
Yeah, and we'll see here momentarily when these players load into this one. Again, we can always assume who's going to be playing where, doing what. But until they roll out a spawn, there's always a little bit of a guessing game, a little bit of a chess match. Who's going to be able to put that pressure on their teammates and opponents? As we load up into this one, though, it will be on the pressure and shoulders of Oxygen to answer back from map 1, because right now, it didn't look as good as they probably could or should have.
All right, so what do we got here? 6 and 2 are going to be opposite of each other. Either way, Pushyz will open up the middle fight wide. Scavzy's going to be there just by himself. He's getting isolated. He's gone. On the opposite end, player 2 is going to rotate it. It's going to be Bronny. Bronny, I think, was over on that Torquebo side, and he's out. My lord. Latam Squad 100% dominates Oxygen in round number 1. Without question, no competition. That's a team ace.
Team ace indeed in Latam Squad. They continue off where they pick up where they left off, excuse me, with the way that they were able to pressure out most of Oxygen and just overwhelm them. Latam Squad, I mean, they want this. This is getting to Pro League seems like it is life or death for them in this situation.
Pushyz once again highly impactful in round 1. Now going to be impactful in round 2. Getting the first blood. Scavzy now, just like in round 1, he's isolated. 1v2. Bronny and Rocky on the opposite end, having to really face against the world. Latam Squad going for another team ace. And it looks like they're going to get it. That's another team ace. Back-to-back rounds. First round, 22 seconds. This round, 25 seconds. You add them together, that's 47 seconds, less than a minute in 2 rounds alone. Execution could be quick, but I didn't expect it to be this quick. And shout out once again to Pushyz. 2 first bloods. We've only done 2 rounds. Plus, he's got 4 eliminations. The biggest impact player off the start.
Without a doubt, and again, this is just, I knew that it would be, I knew there'd be some tense feelings here. I knew Pushyz would want to take it to his former team, but my God, this is like the movie Troy when he beats up
First
Orlando
blood again?
Bloom and he's like, this is what you left me for?
Jesus.
This is what you wanted?
All right, maybe there's an answer. There's not an answer. There's nothing. There's not even an iota of an answer. There's not even a chapter that says there's hope. That's a 3-0. That's 3 in a row. And once again, I hate to say it, but I love to say it because he's playing so well and you set up the storyline well because Pushyz, he's got something to prove. That's 3 first bloods. We've done 3 rounds, 3 first bloods. You said the linebackers, you know, obviously akin to football, hugely impactful. And my lord, again, this is why I love the midline players on 2 more so than I like the players fighting for long shot and more so than I like the players fighting for Torquebo. Pushyz is a great example as to why the midline players are quickly earning my favoritism because they impact the beginning, the initials so well and set the pace for your team.
Yeah, without a doubt, Addvers is going to pick up that torque, and I think right now this should be a little bit of a change of pace for Oxygen. They've got to find a pick here. They've played back. They're playing a little bit more defensively. You can see them starting to mark people up around the map. Another torque out, not going to be able to pick up Scavzy, but Scavzy's going to be able to pick off the head of Kardia. That's a big body shot to get that second down. The snubs finally signs of life in map 2 from Oxygen.
And it took a while, though.
3 rounds late. I'm not going to lie to you. It's 3 rounds late.
It's definitely 3 rounds late, man. It's 3 rounds late and a control late. All right, let's also throw that control in here, too. But that is a solid round. Not a team ace, but Rocky Bronny showing some love. A bit premature, in my opinion, but why not throw it back, get that confidence, and get that momentum back in your favor. Excellent job. Finally, they put a point on the board. Maybe I missed that chat. I'm not a good reader, Colin. So maybe that chapter about there being some hope for Oxygen, maybe I skimmed over it.
You got the cliff notes. That's what it was. You got the cliff.
That's what I got the spark notes on it, man. And they left that one out.
You get some good details, but not all the details. You know how
I went to Wikipedia.
That got edited this morning by somebody that ain't never read the book. You know how Wikipedia.
He's just like, you know what? I'm going to edit this. All right. A funny story about that later. Maybe I'll get to it. Bronny going for the Torquebo. Quickly punished, though. Kardia will pick him up. Torquebo's been backpacked, so that's out of the way. 4v3. Make that a 3v3. Rocky answers onto Addvers. Pushyz down a little bit of trouble. Abolics hot on his heels. Pushyz will recover. Pushyz been fantastic in these 1v spots. Let's see if he can do it again on Abolics. Gary for Latam Squad will have the sniper. It's a 3v2. Abolics in trouble here. And Abolics in big trouble. He's dead. Rocky now by himself, pushing the Torquebo, which wasn't backpack. I apologize. And that is going to be a great recovery. And all that love Oxygen was showing just fueled the fire for another round win from Latam Squad.
The round you win is the round you play defensively. And then you come out the next round and you try to quick pick the torque. And then you push up on Pushyz into his spawn when you're clearly getting baited for time.
Preach. Hey, preach.
I love you, but what?
Yeah. It's like we finally fixed it. It's not broken anymore. Let's see if we can fix it some more. All right. It is what it is. Let me not hate too much. Gary, though, does pick up that sniper. Bronny an opportunity to get across, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Surprise has not been punished by Kardia, but Kardia doesn't need to push up in this moment. He's going to go ahead and chill, see how things, kind of figure themselves out in mid. Rocky will pick up that first blood on Addvers. Quickly answered from Gary, though, to bring it to a 3v3.
See what they can do here is Gary, with that snipe, wants to try to answer here, and Pushyz throws a long-range frag. He's going to try to get somebody out of position, and that doesn't end up picking anybody off. I'm trying to see. Scavzy has a weird angle here where he's going to be able to shoot people if they come across the middle of the map and warn his teammates about them coming across the middle. That's basically what his job is right here. It's to make sure nobody comes down this long alleyway without getting shut down, and that nobody's flanking the middle of the map. But they're going to have to rotate across because if I'm not mistaken, I think the overtime hill is up top. This is round 6.
Round 6,
top,
yeah. It's going to be up top.
Should be up top.
Should be up top. That's why all teams are kind of rotating up there. The good thing is Gary's still checking mid, so I don't think for Latam Squad, and I say the good thing for Oxygen, because Latam Squad, I don't believe knows where all the numbers are for Oxygen at this point. So there could be something that might work out in favor of Oxygen if they can use this kind of confusion, not necessarily confusion, but just lack of information from Latam Squad to their advantage. I think the cat's out of the bag. They should know all three's there now. Either way, it doesn't matter. The overtime hill is going to be up in 15 seconds, so everybody's going to congeal together. Gary with the shot. This is going to be a key play to shut some players down. Shock's thrown out. Oh my, they're pinned. They're pinned. There's nowhere they can go. This is a Latam Squad round. It has to be, right?
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide whatsoever. In this situation, Gary tries to pull the long shot to get a little trick shot out. Now they're back up into the hill. They're going to get a 3-man cap on it, but they would have gotten the elimination anyway. It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, they
wouldn't have been anything different had they gotten that kill or the cap. Same outcome, 5-1 before Latam Squad goes up 2-0 here.
Yeah, and I think they will. I do. Big supporter of Oxygen. I want to see them go big. Bronny, we know he's been fighting for that torque bow. But man, he has no eliminations in all of these rounds. That is tough. He's got 2 assists to his credit. We've seen him getting the cross whenever he gets the torque bow, and Kardia doesn't decide the challenge. But there's Pushyz, and Pushyz clearly the MVP, coming in trying to get that first blood. Addvers will answer back. It's a 3v2. Make that a 3v1. Bronny's last alive, and Bronny's got to go big, and he doesn't want to finish off without any eliminations. He'll at least get 1, but it doesn't matter. 6-1 victory. My lord, Latam Squad, what did you eat for breakfast? You guys are looking absolutely incredible. I'm taking notes. 6-1 victory, 2-0 lead, and they are looking to cruise into Pro League with a 3-0 victory. They're well on the way to doing so. Their teamwork is fantastic, and Pushyz, he's out for vengeance, like Colin said, baby, and I gotta say, he's not wasting this opportunity. He's looking great. He really is. 8 kills to his name. This series is just getting started. Let's see if Oxygen answer back. We got Map 3 Vasgar Escalation coming your way after this. Welcome back to the Gears Pro League Last Chance Qualifiers, and the one thing I got to say is Latam Squad, you guys are scary. That was 2 maps, very quick. 300 to 205 on Speyer, 6-1 on 2. No competition. And the man on your screen right now, call it Pushyz. Incredible. Said I like my midline players, and Pushyz was a great example of that. He dominated the fight in mid and was absolutely the catalyst in multiple rounds to get the lead and ultimately the man advantage early on to the boys of Latam Squad.
I mean, it was just, to me, it's one of those things where I know you said, let me not hate too much, and I'm not hating on him. I question the decision making, because to me, if the round you win is when you play back, you play a little bit more defensively for each other, but then you go right back to just flying at them. It's not, man, I'm hating on you because you're trying to bang out with them. I'm hating on you because I don't get the thought process.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, there's still got to be some level of what did we do wrong? What did we do right? Let's try to build off of what we did right. And the one round you won was a defensive round, and yet you go right back to it and you get 6-1. You got 95 point clubbed in the control. Now you got 6-1, and now you're going to Vasgar Escalation. I mean, it's just not looking pretty right now for Oxygen. It looks like Oxygen almost looked past this matchup going into Pro League, and they were like, you know what, they're gonna have to fight Queso to figure out who's gonna go to Pro League. And right now, Latam Squad's like, you're gonna have to fight Queso to find out who comes to Pro.
Let me say this, man. I came in supporting Oxygen. You came in supporting Oxygen. We really did. And I did for multiple reasons. I know Chad always likes depending on Latin America versus N8. I had a couple of haters in there, but I challenged Chad. I absolutely deserve that. And I just want to say you guys are going to enjoy my 179,000 channel points. And I really hope you put it to good use. I really do. Put a mustache on some of the faces. Put some, like, I don't know, fingers on some of the faces like you guys do with all of the channel point options you guys have. Because I'm broke.
Do we have a channel point redemption for Hunter releasing the E United skins yet?
We don't.
I figured that'd be a good one.
That'd be a great one, actually. Sad thing is, you redeem it, you still wouldn't get your skins because Hunter refuses to release them. I don't know why he's holding them hostage. It's kind of weird.
Evil dictator, that's why.
It really is, man. It's like, do it for the people, Hunter. He's like, I don't want to do it for the people. I got the power, and if I release the skins, I have no more power, so I'm just going to hold on to it. Weird stuff, man, but either way, hey, you don't come in power without releasing your power, so Hunter, he's doing the right thing, I guess. Oxygen and Latam Squad, map number 3, Vasgar Escalation. Latam Squad with a scary lead. Oxygen clearly struggling off the rip, and Latam Squad going for an early domination. My lord, please, just please, Oxygen, fight back.
I love how my man's like, put your hands up, do something. Oxygen trying to break into Sea Hill here, trying to get back into their own home.
My lord,
they get swiped away. I mean, just mauled off of their own home.
Bronny, where are you at? Sorry,
my man's finally had enough.
Hey man, I just want a good series. This is for Pro League, and you start off with 0 kills across the board. My lord. Well, like I said, Latam Squad scary, bro. I looked at, you know what? I looked at the roster this morning. I said, dang, these guys are serious. All right.
I got nothing. Like right now, they're just like, there's nothing to even look at because it's not like they're just not winning fights. They're just not like,
not at all.
You know what? Shout out one time, praised, love you in retirement, brother. Friggin' Christ, he used to tell people, hit shots.
Gotta hit shots.
Just hit shots. And I'm like, right now, I'm looking at Oxygen like, brother, you gotta hit some shots.
It is. Oh, okay. The screaming worked. Blaze once said, you gotta give aggressive pep talk to your team sometimes to let them know, hey, I'm in your corner. I back you up. I love you guys. Let's take a W. All right. So I'm really trying something new. I'm channeling it works with the sniper montages and sniper clips because they go and watch Blaze's sniper montages. Levels to this, man. I don't know. Either way, see if there's going to be a recovery from Latam Squad. They're definitely trying to do a good job. Pushyz hitting just about every shot. Kardia looking to follow up, but will he be punished in the meantime? No, he gets picked back up. Rocky around the corner. Still a chance for Oxygen to take these two players out. Are they going to do it? It's a big battle. Kardia now will stay alive, but in the meantime, Latam Squad does lose one player. Decent lead from Oxygen. Let's see if they can hold on.
Yeah, Oxygen, 60 points or so, give or take a few, and now you see them continuing to build that lead and amount that lead here in this round number 2. And this is, again, they win that first fight by playing a little defensive. They let them play up into the arrivals. They get those first couple of kills, but look at this. The second Latam Squad smells blood in the water, like 4 great whites, they just fly at them, and they are just chomping down on what seems to be Chud, my man. They have found the fodder.
At this point, big comeback in works, 83 to 132. Latam Squad definitely wanting to come back and putting up a good argument that they should be able to come back. It's going to be a 2v2 up top with a couple of flex players, 5 for Oxygen, who's going to be down low. Player 4 does join into the mix, so now a 3v2 up top in the hill. Directly in control of Latam Squad as Oxygen looking to go for the break. 1v1 being threatened on the opposite end between Abolics and Pushyz. We'll see how that unfolds. But meantime, the 3v3 now underway. Bronny gets dropped, but at least gets a trade in the meantime. Rocky now aiming down sights, doesn't fire. Addvers takes them down in a clean a clean hold from Latam Squad. And now you got to focus your attention to that 1v I mentioned earlier between Abolics and Pushyz to decide if this ends in a way of domination. Abolics keeps Durand alive, but not for long. Addvers is there to clean him up, and the driver's seat still owned by Latam Squad.
They're going to continue to get, a massive point lead. They're going to go over 200 points here in the next few seconds, down to just under a minute to win this thing as they now have the 2-1 hill advantage. They are going to continue to just get closer and closer, which is going to force Oxygen into this next fight. Oxygen is not going to be able to take time and go into this next fight. They're going to have to fly into it. Here comes the flashes. Gary not even stunned off of the flash. It hits the front of the cover and doesn't get a stun anywhere. And Gary with 3 straight downs. I mean, just throwing out Lancer bullets, easy peasy lemon squeezy, just down range on these kids.
Big retake attempt from Oxygen. I say big, but it's looking short. Gary picks up 2. Scavzy full send into Pushyz. He knew I lost my teammates. It's pretty much over. Oxygen retakes the 2-1, but am I dumb? All right, well, Latam Squad won this a while ago, I think. Are we playing Control? Latam Squad inches away from the 300-point mark. Oxygen quickly trying to catch up, and we'll go ahead and that. Fair enough. All right, hey, look, Latam Squad, Colin just as confused as me. Even his camera's confused. His camera even went blurry on that one.
What?
I don't know. That's a first time in my career seeing that, but that's okay. We're going to figure it out. But either way, Latam Squad, I'm pretty sure won that round, but we'll have an official ruling after that. We're just going to be talking heads and casters until then. So
you 2-0 right now.
I think,
don't even act like you're getting a restart off of this, Oxygen. You down 0-2. You got to win. You got to win 5 out of the next 7 rounds, dog. It's just how it goes.
I agree. I agree with that. We'll see. Like I said, we're just casters, so we don't know. But that is the first time I've ever seen that. That was weird, funky, very funky. But hey, but seriously though, back on track. Latam Squad is genuinely looking great, like really, really good. And Oxygen, I don't know, man. Like at this point, you mentioned, off of that first control, like Latam Squad looked like they just warmed up a little bit more. We're past that. Like Oxygen just. Quite simply, I don't think they're the better team in this matchup. I really don't. And that's a guy like saying after he invested 179K channel points into him, and that's okay.
I just think they look lost. It's like they don't have the direction that they had the last 2 splits in Pro League. It's like they went back to the Mad Scientist Lab and said, let's try something new, and it's just not happening. Like whatever the something new was, they thought they'd drop it into the cauldron and it would come out with an explosion. It was literally like adding salt to water. Just there it is. Now you just got salty water.
That's all. Now you're in the ocean and you didn't even know it. Boom. Now you're in the middle of the ocean. You don't have a dinghy. You don't have a boat. You don't have a helicopter coming to save you. The Coast Guard's not around. So what are you going to do? There's
an oil spill. Water's on fire.
You're in trouble. And you know what? When there's fire,
EPA is breathing down your neck because you spilt the oil and set it on fire in the ocean. Like,
hold on. I'm really trying to do some complex. But when there's fire, there's oxygen, but you can't breathe because there's fire. Latam Squad,
not because there's fire. The fire isn't what makes you not be able to breathe. It's the smoke.
But listen, the source of why you can't breathe is Latam Squad stealing the oxygen away from oxygen, and that's what's happening. Latam Squad is suffocating oxygen. And that's just the way it is. But it looks like we're about to go back in the game, man, and that should be 2-0. But, it is what it is. I want an entertaining series.
Yeah, they gave him the 2-0 because, they beat you 300 to 250.
They reached 250 before even, and the only reason why Oxygen reached 250 is because it went to 300. So, all right, let's get it going. Seriously, Oxygen needs to come back. They are going to be on that top side spawn. Retros are going to be on opposite ends. Maybe we start talking about power weapon placements if this round doesn't go to the way of Oxygen. But Latam Squad, again, I don't see any reason why they lose this. Interesting push, though. They're going to prioritize B. Normally, we see that kind of fight up top, but this time around, Latam Squad is going to try. I think they're going to try and suffocate Oxygen early on. They look like they're almost going for a pincer at this point.
They're trying to find their way around the teammates without getting peppered up too much. You see Oxygen taking over the home hill of Latam Squad. Latam Squad went all the way across the map after capping up B. Now they have a 2v2 over here. Retro will ring out. Scavzy won't get picked up in time. They get that final shot on and the kill on that down player. And now it's going to be a 4v2 over at the home hill of Oxygen once Pushyz gathers up there. But Pushyz might actually stay. He might just say, you know what? We've got enough players in the fight to be able to take over the A hill as we please. And Pushyz is going to have to win a 1v1 or maybe even a 2v1. He's going to have to win a 2v1 because of how long it took. Stops the triple cap domination for now, though, and it will be a 2v2, maybe even a 4v2 if all 4 players come back for Oxygen. Any kill for Latam Squad here could be huge, stopping that retake coming through.
Looks like the kills are starting to come through. That's going to be Bronny, though, answering back, taking down Pushyz and Gary. Bronny looking to be the hero. Third one taken down from Abolics. An opportunity for Oxygen to recover. They will at least get the 2-1 back in their favor, and that's going to swing the win condition back to them. But again, they can't be too comfortable with that, so we will see more of a round number 3. Abolics from the shadows will get a shot onto Pushyz, but he's by himself, trying to go for the Lancer cross. Bronny goes for a little bit of touch, but not going to be able to get it, forced to back up. Bit of a mismatch. Currently a 2v3, but with player 1, Pushyz being dropped, and Gary as well. Oxygen, to their credit, doing a wonderful job applying the pressure. Still more work needing to be done. And quite honestly, Latam Squad's lead still there. So Oxygen, like I said before, can't feel too comfortable. This fight is so important for Oxygen.
Incredibly important for Oxygen as they fight back against the spawn area of Latam Squad. Kardia still marked out. He'll drop the flash at his feet. Now he's going to wait for his teammates to come off of respawn. There'll be 3 of them over there. You can see the long rotational by Addvers, who gets the decap at C just to bring one player away from this fight over here, giving Latam Squad a chance to get their own home hill back and continue to apply pressure because they are still in a lead by about 40 points. And with a 2-1 hill cap, it's only going to get bigger here momentarily. I mean, Oxygen just, they don't have the answer. This is, I can't even say that they did. I don't even think they got the questions for the test. Like, literally, Latam Squad came out this morning and said you failed. They were like, what? It was a test?
Yeah. Man. Make no mistake. Like, well, that's 3 down. Let's see what Oxygen can do off of this. 5 seconds, they're not going to be able to do it. That's going to be a 3-0 lead. You know, make no mistake, I am through the roof for Latam Squad. Like, these guys are earning their spot. You know, Jacob was very adamant about, I think on Monday, he was very big on, or is it Thursday? No, excuse me, on Thursday, he was really big on, you know, we had, for all the 8 teams that were there, 7 of them were already qualified for Pro League. Oxygen was the only outlier. They faced off against the United early on. They got 3-0'd. But when it comes to Jacob's, you know, kind of ideology, he was like, I want to see certain teams dominate a series. It's not that he didn't want to see a good series, but he wanted to see more so a good showing from the teams that are expected to be good. And it's the same thing here. In these qualifiers, whether it be Pro League qualifiers or Last Chance Qualifiers, close series are fantastic to cast over and great to watch. Clearly pointing out Rocky has 0 kills, 3 assists. But when it comes down to, you know, certain matches like this, qualifying matches, it is always nice to see like a team like Latam Squad dominate a team who is looking to be a Pro League team, because again, that shows to me great favoritism that Latam Squad, when they go to Pro League, they're going to make the most of it. It's they're breaking away from the other teams trying to qualify. Does that make sense, Colin? Am I making sense? Like it
shows that Latam Squad's not only wanting to qualify, but they want to show that they're going to go up into Pro League and be able to compete
and make an impact.
Already there, yeah,
and make an impact.
They don't want to just be last place Pro League team.
Exactly.
They want to go in and really change up the established order and put pressure on their
opponents. That's what they're doing.
They're doing that right now.
They're doing that right now.
3-0. Oxygen has a 2-1 hill cap early in this home-to-home. And it looks like Latam Squad's going to go for a big rotation over to A. They're actually going to come through the middle of the map to try to apply pressure, but Pushyz, he gets the help from the middle of the map. They get the 2 kills, and the script is flipped already. Oxygen now, their last 2 players that are alive are over at C, and they're about to get pinched out.
Yeah.
Yo.
I mean, this is, I mean, it's deja vu, Colin. We've been seeing this nonstop. Player 6 will keep the round alive. That's Abolics. He'll get the touch. Absolutely. But Latam Squad still has the 2-1 hill advantage. And, you know, they're fine with this little bit of a stalemate. You know, keep it going at this point. Oxygen, they're going to stack up 3 strong, push in on A. We'll see Addvers rotate in, maybe even Gary too. And they'll allow player 6 maybe to rotate around. They'll eventually deal with them. Player 4 actually is going to go ahead and pump the brakes and keep them in check. And we're back to a 3v3 stalemate. You know, we've seen this 3v3 play out time in and time out. And, you know, Oxygen doesn't have a good success rate in these team fights. They really don't. So hopefully they have success this time around. But the 1v on the... I'm actually very surprised this 1v is already popping off. I was expecting that to be more of a stalemate, but...
I mean,
you know,
Gary has nothing to fear here. They're up
nothing at all.
Why wouldn't he take this fight?
And if he wins this fight, like that's going to force Oxygen to get desperate and push forward for A.
Like, what is about, like, I'm not saying this to insult Abolics, but what has Abolics done this series to make Gary scared of him at all? Especially on the other side of the map, where you got 3 straight downs and 2 straight kills. Why wouldn't these boys take every fight like under the sun. Look at it. Gary's taunting it with emotes.
At this point, Latam Squad, they're going to be a pro league team, right? You can call it now. Unofficially, you can call it now. But the thing is that my biggest worry now, looking towards the future, is Oxygen's got to play against Team Queso. And I don't think Team Queso played, phenomenally well against, Infinity Blue. But, for Oxygen going against Team Queso in the next series, I've got serious doubts Oxygen's going to be a pro team.
Like, I know you can't see me right now, but like I look disgusted.
See, now my heart's starting to come in, and I'm like, are we being too hard on Oxygen? Like, I really, because I love these boys.
Don't come out flat when you got to win one series.
But any team that's competing, like, I got all the utmost respect for them, and I always hating on teams that are doing. I guess I just had so much expectations for Oxygen, and you know what? I'm, again, to reiterate, incredibly proud of Latam Squad. This is a, like, when we go into Pro League, this is a series I'm bringing up when Latam Squad plays. Looks like we lost a member, unfortunately, so we'll be at a bit of a standstill. But again, this is going to be a series I'm bringing up. Like, this is a performance Jacob would be happy with, because Jacob, again, like that E-Days, he wants to see teams dominate in moments like this, and that's exactly what Latam Squad is doing. They're dominating.
I got no words, man.
I guess my question is, who's picking them up?
Yo, word?
Like, who's picking these boys up? Because, like, these guys are great.
Iron Ice 2.0?
Oh, that would be... No.
Why you gotta say it like that? Like, no.
No, because, I mean, look. Like, are you just saying, like, they'll basically represent, like, what Fire and Ice was, but not, like, the org itself?
No, I'm saying, like, Fire and Ice, they like to pick up some young, gritty teams.
Why would... Well, anyway, I don't know how much I can say, how much I want to, like, divulge, but, like, I don't have any insider information, but, like, why would you drop the old F&I roster and then pick up another? I don't know why you would do that. But I also don't know what happens behind the scenes, what's going on. That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, hey, I don't know who's picking them up, but regardless, that's in the future. We're going to find out. 4-0 lead, Oxygen. Where are they at?
Well, here we come into this next round. Everybody's back into the match. Everybody's loaded back into the lobby. And we are going to be rolling out of spawn here. Right back into the action, right back into the thick of things. The one to pick up the retro is Scavzy. Addvers will pick up the incendiaries there. The E-Hill flown at by Oxygen, but I like the pick of the incendiaries by Latam Squad. I think they need to keep Addvers, though, in a position where he could help. Long-range incendiary finds both of them, and that's going to be 2 down and dead early. 3 down and dead early. 1 player left at D, and it's going to be a 1v1 to try to hold things off. Scavzy has the angle here. Trying to... Hey, yo. Pushyz. Hey, yo.
Oh, my Lord. Bronny hits a shot. Doesn't hit the second.
Not going to hit a second.
No, sir.
You get 1. Like Spider-Man at his jug. Everybody gets 1.
Yo, Latam Squad, jeez, you guys, I'm telling you, these guys are serious. That is it. Latam Squad will officially be your newest pro league team. My Lord, these guys are beautiful. 5-0 victory. Let's just recap. 300-205 on Speyer, 6-1 on Tomb, 5-0 on Vasgar, 3-0 victory, a flawless victory in my opinion. And Pushyz says, hey, you dropped me, now look at me. I'm back in the Pro League. Maybe you guys made the right decision. Maybe this was the best, at least, decision for me personally. I didn't even see it then, but now I see it now. But Pushyz, my boy, MVP for a reason in the series. You popped off on Speyer. You definitely popped off on Tomb in that mid-fight. And you obviously popped off on Vasgar. Well done. I'm incredibly blown away from Latam Squad, and rightly so. They are the best team in this bracket.
Without a doubt, they dominate that final matchup. I believe if I saw it correctly, didn't they 3-1 Queso to get into that matchup against Oxygen? So yeah, I mean they have played
flawless,
fantastic in this tournament to be able to earn that spot in the Pro League. So now they don't have to worry anymore. They can kick back, relax. They can think about what their schedule is going to be like in Pro League and who they're going to have to go up against now because they have found themselves in qualification, and now we might as well just move on with things, move on with life, because now it's up to Oxygen again. They had to win 1 series. Queso coming into today, they had to win 2. But this is one of those situations where, I mean, Oxygen showed no fight in this matchup. They showed no life at any given point in time. It really was on the back of Latam Squad, just giving them all of the business.
Giving them the business indeed. And chat's letting us know they're calling us clowns. And you know what? Now, Colin doesn't deserve that. I probably do, because I called you guys all, you know, horse-sized ducks or duck-sized horse, whatever I said. I don't know, man. But hey, I got nothing for love for you guys. So if I'm going to throw it at you guys can 100% throw it back. I'm going to accept it. I was wrong.
You want to use my you want to use my old go-to? You want to reach into my bag?
What's that?
Hey, yo, chat. Tell me, when was the last time North America didn't win a major tournament?
No. Hey, stop. I'm not starting a war. I'll start a battle, but I'm not starting a war.
Trick in the book, baby.
All I want to know, who's loaning me some channel points, because your boy broke.
I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. Man, look at this box score, by the way. Again, 300-205, 6-1, 5-0. Dominant win. Latam Squad are in their spot. PR even saying in chat, look, hey, if they don't want to take any money, I'll pick them up for free and represent them. All right, Funky Bunch coming back. I think that's a good deal.
He does have a skin though that he can give him in the game, because they got the funky monkey skin in the game. So he's already got the branding. He's got the team. He's got.
They already have more skins. They already have more skins than United has in the game. In my opinion, Latam Squad, you got to consider Jacobs.
That's Hunter's problem.
You got to consider Jacobs' offer. Latam Squad, you got to consider Jacobs' offer. Hey, well done, seriously, Latam Squad. Incredible job. A lot of questions about Oxygen now. They got to go against Team Queso. And you said it best, Colin. When you looked at that bracket before, you know, Team Queso at least took a map off of the boys of Latam Squad. We'll confirm, and there it is, right? 3-1, where Oxygen didn't even get close. Oxygen did not even get close. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I think Team Queso makes it in the Pro League. We'll see how it's gonna happen. Zevy Jones, pleasure doing business. Ain't no worries. Enjoy your points, guys. Really enjoy your points. I hope you guys do, because I got nothing to enjoy points wise. Anyways, it was a great series from Latam Squad though. Oxygen off against Team Queso, then their losers finals. Another qualifier match. We saw Team Queso win a little bit earlier against the fantastic Infinity Blue. Loved watching them play, but this is going to be the last qualifier match. We have 9 teams in Pro League. We have one more team to make it into Pro League. Just one. Who's it going to be?
Did you see where? So Oxygen beat Infinity Blue took a map off of Oxygen.
I saw
didn't
that.
Didn't take a map off of Oxygen. Excuse me. It was 3-0 Oxygen over Infinity
and I didn't bring
Blue.
that up, but I was going to. But
3-1 Queso against Latam, and now Infinity Blue took a map off of Queso. This might be a whole heck of a lot closer than we think.
It could be.
Just because of the fact that they've lost maps or taken maps off of teams that the other team has lost to. This is gonna get interesting. Especially with the map picks and bans that they got to do now.
You know, it is going to be interesting. I think so. To the credit of these two teams, I think it's going to be a lot closer between these two. This could be the closest series of the night, and that's saying something because I love the battle between Infinity Blue and Team Queso earlier. This could go to a game 5, but again, I don't know where Oxygen's head's at. Team Queso, that teamwork is going to come to the forefront, and if they have good teamwork, most likely going to beat Oxygen, who seems very discombobulated. They really do. They've got to bring it together and come into this next series hot and ready to go. But I digress. We got to give it some time to breathe. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we'll be moving into losers final match, another qualifying match to find out which team will be in Pro League. Who's it going to be? Oxygen, Team Queso. We'll find out after the break.